Hey, what's going on guys? Welcome back to my channel, Livefreewithmikey, and today we're actually going to be going over short-term rentals and why I like them way better than long-term rentals. First off, one of the biggest reasons I like short-term rentals is because I've been around and involved in short-term rentals way more than I've been around and involved in long-term rentals. Now, that doesn't mean, that's not the only reason why I like short-term rentals. After seeing and being involved in short-term rental management for about a year now, I've seen some of the differences. Now, for a long time, I've always wanted to be one of those guys that grew up and, bought an apartment building or, 2-3 units, nothing crazy to start off, and then, found some long-term tenants, put them in there, and then, got a consistent check every single month from the tenants. Now, that was always my plan starting off, but then after I started getting involved in short-term rental, I actually realized I kind of like this model a lot better. Now, some of the reasons I like this model a lot better, one of the biggest is you don't really have to worry about evictions. Evictions don't really exist in short-term rental as much as they do in long-term rental. Now, in long-term rental, you have to deal with a bunch of problems like, let's say, the tenant's not paying, or they're damaging all your items, or, any number of these kind of things. These just simply don't really exist, and they're not really problems in short-term rental because, first off, the tenant pays right away as soon as they book your place for the week or the weekend or whatever how long they book. They pay up front, so you don't really have to worry about if they're gonna pay or not. If they break things, you kind of just can go take a picture of them and then report it to Airbnb or VRBO or whatever, platform you book on, and, you'll get it sorted out, and, they have their card linked to the booking website right away, so they can be charged for that instantly. All you have to do is show a little bit of proof that they broke the item, and it's not really too much of an issue. Now, one of the other reasons I like short-term rental is it can be just as passive as long-term rental. Everything you think that you need to do for short-term rental that's way harder than long-term rental can just be hired out. Like, 100% of the communication between guest and host, which is you, can be hired out to a virtual assistant, or can be hired out to a friend, or really anybody for just a small portion of what you're going to be bringing in. One of the greatest things about short-term rental is it actually really doesn't take any advertising at all. Just by you listing it on Airbnb, VRBO, HomeAway, and any other booking websites like that, it's that they do 100% of your advertising. None of your advertising of yourself is needed. It's all done just by them. So you can have your place booked 100% of the time with zero money spent on advertising, which I think is the greatest thing ever. Now, another reason I like short-term rental so much is you can have about the same or even less vacancy and get even more money than you'd make with long-term rental. By booking out your place just weeks at a time or weekends at a time, you can actually charge a premium just like hotels do. But the reason people like short-term rentals way better than hotels is because most of the time people are getting an entire house to themselves for the same, if not cheaper, or a little bit more expensive than a hotel would be. So you tell me, what's the better deal? A hotel for $100 a night or an entire house for $100 a night? Now, obviously, we know that a house is probably going to be a lot better than a hotel. Now that I've talked about why I like short-term rentals a little bit more and why I don't really like long-term rentals as much as short-term rentals, let's actually go into it and talk about some of the ways you can make maybe your current short-term rental even better if you have one already, or if you plan to get one. Here are some tips you can use to make it just that much better. Now, one of the biggest and most important things you can do, and listen close here, get professional pictures. Don't just go into your listing as soon as you list it. Don't just go in and take pictures with your iPhone. Pay somebody $200-$300, and I know that sounds a lot, but you'll make that back right away. Have somebody professionally go in and take really good pictures. The first thing people are going to see when they're looking to book an Airbnb is the pictures. The pictures are the most important part about the listing. If the pictures aren't good, then nothing else even matters, because the first thing and the reason people even look at your place is because of the first picture they see. So you have to make sure, especially the first picture, looks really good and enticing and makes somebody want to book your place. Another really great tip is get a professional and actually good cleaning team. Make sure you do a simple interview with your cleaner, whoever it is. Make sure they're actually good. You don't want to be losing money just because your cleaner isn't good. A really easy way to make it even more passive for yourself is by hiring virtual assistants. You can hire a virtual assistant from the Philippines or from India or from any place like that for simply $2, $3, $4 an hour, and they'll work, and they're great. You can find really great people, and I have really great VAs. You might feel like you're not paying them enough, but in their currency, $2 to $3 of US is actually worth a lot more to them than it would be even to us. Alright guys, so that kind of brings us to the end of the video. I hope you guys liked it. If you liked it, please share, comment, like, subscribe. If you have any more questions for me, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'd be happy to answer or even go into more in-depth detail about any of these things. If you have specific questions and you want to answer it me directly, you can DM me. Feel free. Otherwise, guys, this has been Live Free with Mikey. See you later.